we are giving away a free Steam key to the story-based adventure game The Silent Age. In this addictive game, you assume the role of a regular, unsuspecting janitor who sees himself confronted with the daunting task to save all of mankind. Simply answer the question at the beginning of every video to be entered for the giveaway running until July 31st. You can enter as many times as you want by answering every new question in order to increase your chances. Let's get it. Hello and welcome to another episode and the final episode of the Budget Paladin. The question for this video is going to be, what was my number 3 favorite song of all time? We ranked those in podcast number 50. So, if you haven't seen it yet, you might have to go there and watch it, but trust me, it's worth it. So, Pally, conclude the Budget series. Been a great journey. It's a great day for the channel. It's wonderful, sun is shining, birds are chirping outside. We are playing...
One of those two things is true?
The birds is true.
Yeah.
That is a fact. We are playing the Paladin, so this is what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
We got Murlocs, and we got aggressive stuff, which is kind of a theme for this playlist.
This might have just been... like, Vine Cleaver just might be one of the most expensive cards we've had in this entire series.
The Vine Cleaver?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, it's up there. Like, Savannah Hyman was 6. That's quite possible. So we don't typically exceed that mana cost, but it's worth it. So we're playing Murlocs. There's a lot of Murloc synergy. We've seen that in the Shaman already.
Yeah,
and
similar.
Paladin is generally really good at aggro, specifically these days. We're running both Blessings of Kings to create bigger minions that some decks can't necessarily deal with that well. Knife Jugglers, even though there isn't any Call to Arms, but Call to Arms would be one of the cards to make an improvement to this.
Yes.
When you get more dust, Call to Arms, and the other one, the big one, would be Sunkeeper Tarim. Because Sunkeeper Tarim is likely, well, it's one of the most dominant legends in the game.
And I guess with aggro decks, it never hurts to put in Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins is always possible, of course. If you're not being restricted by odd or even, I would recommend, though, building towards, right now, an Odd Paladin. I'm sorry, but it's just the best deck.
Of course, we can't really build a budget version of that because the core card is a legend.
It requires Baku. But you can have Baku be the first one that you craft, and you can play the rest of the Odd Paladin without legends.
That's true.
So you don't need necessarily Leroy and Odd Paladin. You can craft Baku and then start building the Odd Paladin with the cheap stuff like Lost in Jungle, Righteous Protectors, and you have Arson Squares in there. And you're relying on level ups, of course, which are epics.
Yeah.
But stuff like Fungal Mancer. So that's the way you can build it. But you can also go the Murloc route and just keep adding the Tarims. Well, the Tarim, because it can have only one. And the Call to Arms.
There can only be one.
Yeah. I'm fairly confident in this deck. This is going to be one of the better ones throughout the entire series. So let's get into it. I'm calling even Warlock against this, because that's kind of what happens these days. It could be Zoo. Zoo is possible and fairly popular. We have a bunch of Murlocs on our hands, and 1-drops are always good.
If you want to know how to play a cheap Zoolock, here's the video.
Yeah, we got one of those as well, without the Keleseth, but still winning on the higher ranks. We can keep it that way. I like the Cold Light. I really like the Cold Light Seer. It makes it really sticky. That's not too bad, especially against the fire.
Oh god!
Yikes. Yeah, so even is obviously sensible. And what do you do against even Warlock? We should have figured it out by now.
Push it.
Run him down. Man, get him. And Tide-Color is a good start.
Of course, Tide-Color is generally always the first Murloc you want to play. Yeah. Because it gets stronger the more Murlocs you play after it.
And coining out Seer next turn seems... No. Does it seem good? Do we really want to... I think we coin out Seer, but we don't attack.
That actually seems reasonable, yeah.
Because next turn the War Leader, right?
Next turn the War Leader, and then we can take out the Homunculus with the Cold Light Seer.
Yep.
Because we don't want to damage our Tide-Caller, because it keeps growing.
No, we need to take them both out with that. So War Leader, and get them both.
I really don't like that.
What, War Leader and getting them both? Got it.
The fact that we have to sack the guy.
Of course we have to sack a guy. That's what we do.
Yeah, but it's a Tide-Caller.
Yeah, but it's gonna die either way. Man,
yeah.
it killed a Vulgar Homunculus.
But that's why I would have preferred it if he does in the face.
No.
I know it doesn't make sense.
He knows what he's doing. He also seems to have a really, really good hand. Blessing of Kings. Easy. because dealing with bigger stuff is a bit more of an issue than dealing with a lot of small stuff.
Well, Spellstone for 5 is always possible.
Spellstone is possible, but we've already seen one of those. Twilight Drake, of course. It's not bad. We can kill it though.
Alright. I guess right now we just go for the...
We could dab Murloc and adapt.
You think so?
I mean, we could adapt. Sure, we could. If we get Wind Fury, we're going for the Gusto. I mean, if we get Wind Fury, we knock it home. And if we can get Divine Shield or something like that, that would be still great for the trade.
Yeah, I generally prefer to adapt as many minions as possible.
Wind Fury. Rock and roll. I mean, no regards for human life or Murloc life right now.
Or Orcish life.
Hand, and we have, and Divine Favor as well. Let's go
or
load up.
Anyone's life.
Anyone's life. Doesn't matter. Dragon life. Like, no, nothing. Beast life. Okay, maybe Beast life.
Deal with that.
Yeah, deal with that. Where's your Hooked Reaver now, huh? Where is it? Where is it, though? Where is it? You gonna play it?
Oh, he was like, am I gonna tap? Am I gonna tap? Am I gonna tap?
Oh, he tapped.
Yikes.
Okay. I mean, gotta respect it. Gotta respect when people do that.
Alright. That's still losing. Yeah. We have
GG.
1 damage to spare. Because this thing has Wind Fury, and guess what? There's one more.
You gotta play 2 Murlocs and then Divine Favorite as well to draw the hand up. But, hey. One thing you've learned in this series, if nothing else, is how to handle even Warlocks.
Yeah, and also I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we took 0 points of damage in this game.
Run them the hell down. Oh yeah. To the face, nothing. So, if that wasn't dominating victory, I don't know what is. This deck is one of the best budget decks to play on the ladder. Aggressive decks are generally better on the ladder because you can get more games in with them. So if you can get, say, like 100 games with them in, as opposed to like a slower control deck where you can get only half of those, you also...
Or like a quarter of those.
Or like a quarter of those, depending on what you're playing. It's generally advised to play as many games as possible to climb the ladder, and those decks will allow you to do that. Paladin is, of course, really at a really strong spot at the moment, and Murloc Paladin still has an above average win rate.
Yeah.
And if you're going to build this toward either the Odd Paladin or the kind of more aggro, Murloc aggro with a Sand Creeper Terram, either way is going to be a really good choice. So this marks the end of the budget series for now. I'm really curious to hear about what your favorite deck is. Like, let me hear it in the comments. What deck have you played most? Which one have you decided to stick with? And then tell us why. Like, what especially in the current meta, what you're facing, what about that deck makes it so strong to you, and how are you planning to improve it? And I guess then very soon we'll be starting with the Advanced series, where we take a look at these decks and upgrade them a little bit.
Yeah, we gotta find a snappy name for that.
Yeah, I mean, Advanced series isn't that great. But we'll get to some. So we can show off the Odd Paladin, because that isn't too expensive, actually.
And we can also show off the complete Murloc Paladin.
We can do the complete Murloc Paladin, we can do the mid-range Hunter.
And of course, the mid-range Hunter, the Tempo Mage.
Yeah. The Priest.
The Combo Priest.
With the Lyra in it and all that. The fun stuff that can happen. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Thank you for the entire support on the series, for watching it. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't done it yet, go back, check the other ones out.
Yeah.
I would recommend to look at every deck before you decide on one, because that way you can probably find out most of like how it fits your playstyle. So what exactly do you want to go for? Because you know you're on a budget, you can't just craft all of them and just try them out and just upgrade them, because you're somewhat on a tighter budget. So pick one and then go for it and see how it does for you, and then give us feedback. How did it do? Any tips for improvement, we'll take them. So, all that being said, remember to answer the question and win a free game, by the way. And we are going to see you next time, JJ.
That's it?
That's it.